We'd like to welcome you to Bonita Springs. I'm here today with my wife, Suzanne, daughter, Elizabeth, son, Petey, and our family dog, Chapman. We're in Bonita Bay at the marina, and we want to welcome you to District 4 in Bonita Springs, and we hope you love it as much as we do. The city of Bonita Springs is the place we chose to live, to work, to raise a family, and to enjoy the company of friends. Bonita Springs is the place you want to be. Today, I'd like to take you on a tour of the district I am humbled and honored to represent, District 4 in Bonita Springs. I am going to show you our amazing schools, waterways, golf courses, shopping, great restaurants, and particularly a vibrant and eclectic community that makes this area a true treasure waiting to be rediscovered. I've invited some friends to join me in this journey, and I'd like you to join us as well. So please sit back and relax and enjoy Bonita Springs, District 4. Well, we're here in District 4 for a historical perspective, if you will, with my predecessors on the Bonita Springs City Council in District 4. And we have here with us John Warfield, who served in the office from 2000 to 2004. John Joyce, who served from 2004 to 2008. And John Spear, who served from 2008 to 2012. And John, maybe you could start us off with a historical perspective of when you were here to actually see the city become a city.
Well, I think one of the more interesting things would be the fact that I'm very close, did not run for office. I wasn't really interested in running for office. The election to get the city to become a city was more of an election than getting the officers of the city elected.
Right.
There was much more involved, much personalities were involved, and a lot of people were involved that either really wanted it to become a city or really wanted it not to become a city.
Fast forwarding 4 years, here we are now. We are a city. What were the issues maybe that you dealt with, or some thoughts, John?
Well, interestingly, to back up, because they were fulfilled by the time I got there, the city, the analysis to become a city was largely driven by the lack of investment or return on investment that Bonita Springs was getting from Lee County. And it was in the papers for the whole year. I moved here in September of 1998, about a year ahead of time. So, and the road systems and the infrastructure, no restaurants, it was awful, given the rapid rate of growth of the population at the time. So what these guys, what the initial council did, I thought, was setting this thing up for success. And by the time I got in there, it was rolling right along and contributed. But, you know, we had east-west corridors, Imperial, just phenomenal things that came to fruition, and you know, we're in really good shape now.
John Spear, tell us about your tenure or your thoughts in office.
2008 to 2012 was a different time. 2000 to 2004, the city government and infrastructure of the city government was being built. When John Joyce was in office, there was a lot of infrastructure. Roads were being built, and the economy was booming. By February of 2008, the real estate market had started to tank. September of 2008, the stock market crashed, as we all remember. The Bonita Bay insolvency happened in 2009, 2010. The Bonita Springs Golf and Country Club closed the golf course in 2010. So we went from you know, building and then building infrastructure to really having to sort of pull back. And the challenges that we faced 2008, 2009 were really reining in a budget because the tax dollars slowed up tremendously, and really managing things. We had an emergency budget meeting in the summer of 2008 and cut the operating budget by a full 7% halfway through the fiscal year. And so it was hard work. The city couldn't do much about the Bonita Bay insolvencies and the challenges to the Bonita Bay Club. Our hands were tied in terms of what we could do at the Golf and Country Club. The YMCA closed towards the end of my term, and it's reopened, but the city had a very limited prospect. So we dealt, I frankly, I think, with very different problems than John and John dealt with 4 years and 8 years earlier.
Right.
You're still dealing with some of those problems. I think that we really got through some of the really hard problems. That 7% cut of the operating budget halfway through the year was hard work.
Right, right. I really appreciate you taking the time to be here. You know, there's a lot of businesses, there's a lot of neighborhoods, and just a lot of wonderful things here in District 4. So gentlemen, thank you very, very much. I sincerely appreciate it.
Thank you, Peter, for having us.
Pleasure.
I love to live in Bonita, and I'm not the only one.
What do I like? Everything. Of course, we know that it's Mother Nature at her best. I can still see the moss on the trees and the flowers that bloom in vivid colors all year. So it is Mother Nature at her best, but I think it's the nature of the people here that I love best. I've been privileged to serve on some committees and boards and work with nonprofits, and it's opened the door to meeting lots of wonderful people who give so much of their time, their talent. They are inspiring. I've learned from them. They're motivated. They have a can-do attitude. I'm also very proud of our city that became a city. So having been here since 1987, I've seen a lot of changes in Bonita. I saw Bonita Springs become a city. I'm proud of our city government and our Chamber of Commerce and our civic and social organizations that all try to support each other and work for the betterment of the citizens and try and meet their needs and enhance their lives.
Well, you know, the turning place for this whole area was the year 2000 when we got incorporated. And it allowed us as new residents to become involved in the political process more than we had been elsewhere. And we've been involved in each councilman's campaign since that day, you know, and it's just given us a great sense of being involved in the community and having some influence over what happens.
Right.
And we've had some very good run of mayors through there, and the community light, not too much government, been a wonderful way to go. It hasn't cost us a lot of money, and we've gotten very good growth in the community. Everything's come to us as we've lived here.
We love Bonita Springs in general, especially Cedar Creek because it has a wonderful location. We're close to the schools and close to the beach. There are lots of families in here as well as retired couples, so it's a nice mix in this community. And it's just a community where people are here most of the year. So we enjoy all of our neighbors and we love the location.
Right, no, absolutely. And our children go to school together when you're in close proximity to the school here. And
Yes.
do you guys ever, like if you're homesick or anything, do you ever hear anything that's going on at school? It's not that close, is it?
We hear recess.
Yeah, you can hear them on the
Can you really hear the playground?
What we like about Bonita Springs is its small town flavor. We were here the first year. We were here through 4th of July, and we saw the parade and the pie contest, and we thought that was absolutely great.
Did you win it, by the way?
No, I didn't.
The pie eating contest? No.
I'm
Okay.
185 pounds, and that's where I'm going to stay. Cedar Creek is very similar to the community we left when we lived up in Ohio. We have had about 300 people, community very similar to this, heavily wooded, not quite as many lakes, and we really enjoy the venue or the feeling of the place. Bonita Springs itself is a kind of a unique thing here in Southwest Florida. It does have a downtown. It has a huge history that goes back, many years. I got the privilege to serve on the Charter Review Committee back a number of years back, and we looked at the city charter after 10 years of life and made adjustments and corrections and brought it up to date, basically. And I learned a lot about the city charter in that process.
Peter, besides all the nice outdoor activities, there are things like the Art League. There's things like Hope Hospice that you can become involved in. Very worthwhile effort. and the Speakers Assembly, where you can hear views from across the world right here on our doorstep. It's just a wonderful community, many opportunities.
Marshall?
It's just great, business-wise, where there's a lot of restaurants to go to, as well as just a lot of local places to go around and enjoy. So.
Right.
All in all, I would say this was probably one of the best moves we made. It was a business move on our part. My wife's law firm moved us down here, and it didn't take much effort to get me to come along.
We bought a place in Bonita Bay, and then we spent, once he retired, we moved in there, and then from there we did 2 other moves in there. And then we sold that place and didn't find anything in Bonita Bay that we wanted to live in, because first off, we needed a 3-car garage, a smaller house with a 3-car garage.
I think one thing that's fabulous is that there are so many different kinds of housing.
Right.
So that has brought a diverse group of people here. We're not branded as just one kind of person, and that's one thing I've enjoyed, is learning from everyone.
We've been here 8 years. We've met a lot of people that have been here similar. It seems like 8 years is the time. 2004 is when many people moved here, and we found the area to be absolutely delightful. I think after you've been here for a while, for the first few months, you have to pinch yourself. I don't have to get on an airplane and go home. I'm here.
Right.
There's no place you can go that'll have as many restaurants within this, diameter where we're at, and restaurants of all types, and golf courses of all types, and it just, it's a tremendous opportunity. The conservation of the land, the way it's been done around here, the parks that have been put in, both city and county, and what you can go out and do in those parks and be involved in nature, photography, whatever you want. So we're very enthusiastic about this. Throw in the boating and the golf, fishing. It's just a wonderful place to live.
District 4 has some of the finest schools in the state of Florida. Our children love being a part of the Bonita student body.
Our school is a charter school. A charter school is a public school of choice. So parents elect for their children to come to our school, which makes it pretty special. We do not receive 100% of the federal funding, so our parents do a lot of parent involvement activities.
More with less, you might say.
Pretty much,
yes.
Yeah. There's lots of activities for them to join in to show their involvement, as well as fundraisers for them to take part in. So we make up some of the proceeds that we don't get.
We know all too well and are very, very supportive. And of course, my wife and myself volunteer our time here, which is another nice aspect that we like.
And we appreciate it very much.
Right.
Okay,
I was looking at my son's spelling words this week, and I have to be honest with you, I had to look up the definition of some of them. I couldn't believe it, but really, I mean, it's in our daughter's in middle school here in the 6th grade, and you look at their homework, it's challenging.
Right.
It absolutely, and I think there's a healthy amount of homework each night, and of course our daughter is in the band this year, and our son is playing football up in Estero, so it is about time management. Do you see a lot of that, or I mean, a lot of concerns, or I think it's good to, what do you want to say, get good work habits in early, and I think you're doing that here with time management.
What we try to do is we try to meet with the students. The classroom teacher meets with them every quarter in order to establish goals.
Right.
And so they try very hard to be realistic and understanding of their outside commitments, but on the other hand, they need to be cognizant of what they need to achieve.
Right.
And so we lay it all out for them, and the children, take that. They benefit from it, so that they are able to pick and choose activities that they should be in.
Right. I just stopped in to surprise my son, Petey Simmons, in his class. Petey, what can you tell me about the 4th grade?
It's fun.
It's fun. How about your classmates?
They're nice to me.
They're nice to you? Now, what were you guys doing here today? You're at recess doing some exercise? Okay. Anything else you want to say, Petey? How about on the count of 3, go Gators? 1, 2, 3.
Because we are Spring Creek. Yes. Welcome to Spring Creek Elementary. Mr. Simmons, Peter has asked me to talk about the wonderful things that happen in Spring Creek. And in our community, first off, we have the most awesome parents and children, and our staff at Spring Creek is phenomenal. We have absolutely just some of the best people working with the children in this district. We do so many positive things for our children, such as we do PBS, that's positive behavior support. And that is, instead of every time a kid's doing something wrong, you nail them, catch them being bad, we catch them being good. And start having them start changing their behavior because it's the right thing to do. And if you walk around the school, we'll show you a bunch of things that we have up so that our kids constantly are reminded that they are in charge of themselves. We have things for our children like Roaring Readers once a month. We have all the kids are invited to come. This is a Title I school. Government subsidized because we have over 75% of our children on free or reduced price lunch. Actually, we have 89%, probably 90 now, percent of our children on free priced or reduced. And therefore the government gives us a big hunk of money where we can buy more personnel. We get some additional help for kids. And it's critical that these children that come from poverty, I'm one of those kids, and there's always a way out. They've got to see there's something other than where they are right now, what they can do. Failure is not an option for anyone, be it a student, be it a teacher, be it any of us. We don't let people fail. Right. In other words, let me say it positively, we only help people to succeed, be it kids, adults, etc. This kid is, tell me how old you are. 8. She's 8 years old, she's in 5th grade, and she's a brainiac.
I would say 8 years old in 5th grade.
Yeah.
Wow.
And she's getting straight A's. She's going to probably be the first woman president. That's why I say, remember, who's your favorite principal in the world?
What's her name?
Dr. Brian.
That's right. Always remember that, because someday I may say, I never remember me.
And this is one of my favorite times of the day, picking up our children at the school bus. And when it's time to play, we play. Let's visit one of our great country clubs.
Well, you know, we're kind of proud of what, our club. We're a bundled community, and by that I mean the golf membership goes along with your ownership. And we have an 18-hole golf course, okay, designed by Gordon Lewis. Highland Woods opened in 1995, and in 2000 the members took over. And so we're now in our 12th year with member ownership and member management. We have 799 units in a combination of living types, from condominiums to veranda condominiums, which you can see behind you over there, to villas, which are a combined single wall construction type of thing, and single family homes. We just recently constructed bocce courts because that's the latest rage here in this area.
I have heard about that over in our neighborhood too. They're constructing
as a matter of fact, we have inter-club leagues on both on tennis, golf, and on bocce.
And there seems to be a very, very good turnout for the bocce.
Oh yeah, we have probably about 400 to 500 members that participate in bocce alone.
Oh, fun.
So it is fun. Yeah. It is fun. Especially late in the evening when you get a couple beers in your hand, it can be a lot of fun. But,
glass of wine, perhaps?
Glass of wine, okay.
So you've chosen to live here in Bonita Springs. When did you move to Bonita Springs?
I came here in 1997, and I immediately purchased here.
Right.
And we were then in the process of building out prior to the turnover. I served 2 years as the chairman of the transition committee, and so I learned an awful lot. I learned a lot about the club, and I learned a lot about Bonita Springs also. Bonita Springs is absolutely a fantastic place to live.
And if you look where we are, we're situated right in the heart of it.
Yes.
And we love being here. We try to be good neighbors. We try to be good neighbors to the people that are around us. And as you notice, an example of our being a good neighbor, as you drive in Highland Woods Boulevard, we maintained Highland Woods Boulevard, so it looks very pristine and nicely trimmed and cut, giving a nice entrance into the community.
Right.
As the areas build out around us, we go and introduce ourselves to the people and say, what can we do together to help it be more livable and be good neighbors for each other? Right. And it's been very good for both of us.
We just became a city in 2000, but I want to take you on a little walk here of some spots that are very old and prove we have a lot of history right here in Bonita Springs. At the City of Bonita Springs, we work very hard to assure that our natural environment lives in perfect harmony with our development efforts. It always amazes me the amount and variety of birds, flowers, trees, and so many other beautiful things that can be found here in their natural habitat in Southwest Florida. Our green spaces are first rate. Our waterways are pristine. And for all you fishermen out there, you might want to try this method next time. Who knows? But this right here behind me is a tidal trap midden. A tidal trap midden is comprised of discarded shells and ceramics, which were utilized by the Calusas and their ancestors as a fish trap. Looking up here to the north, you can see Fort Myers Beach. And obviously right here in Bonita Bay, the Bonita Springs Water Tower, and down here overlooking Bonita Beach, and then obviously further down towards Naples. Well, I bet you never knew that the Naples Pier was right here in District 4 in Bonita Springs, but apparently so. If you look at this sign on the pier we're standing on, they call this a historic Naples Pier. The Naples Pier was built in the 1890s at the water's edge of a small town named Survey, later renamed Bonita Springs. The pier was used as a port. Supplies from the north were brought by rail to Punta Gorda and then to Fort Myers, where they were loaded on barges and transported via an inland water route to Survey. After reaching the pier, goods were transferred to wagons and pulled by oxen to Naples. The dock was abandoned in 1926 when the Tamiami Trail was completed. The dock was unused until it was rebuilt by a commercial fisherman, Ed Henry, in the 1930s. So welcome to the Naples Pier right here in District 4 in Bonita Springs. It's beautiful out here. It's a beautiful place to be. Our beaches are world class. In fact, people travel from all around the world to enjoy our beautiful beaches. Bonita Springs indeed has a small town charm and a big bright future. Well, that's going to wrap up another section of our town, District 4 in Bonita Springs. Now you see why we love it here so much. We hope you'll come and enjoy Bonita Springs and take a look around District 4 in the whole city and love it just as much as we do. For more information on the great city of Bonita Springs, you can go to www.cityofbonitasprings.org. Thank you very much.